What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we've got another installment of our Jets series. It's the 2028 season, and there's a lot riding on this one. If you guys watched the 2027 video, you'll know that we took a step back last year, and ownership's not happy about it. So they've given us an ultimatum. We've got to make the playoffs this year, or we're out of here. If you do want to catch up on previous episodes of this series, I'll link those in the description below. If you're a football sim franchise mode lover like I am, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and drop a comment below if you would have done anything different with this rebuild. Appreciate the love, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. All right, guys, welcome back to the Jets series. We are in our 2028 season, about to begin our third offseason with the team. And then head into our third regular season. We've had two playoff-less years, a couple of week 18 drama moments, but we took a step back essentially in this 2028 season. Went 7-9-1. And you can see, just looking at the 2027 rankings, there was nothing really to write home about. We were pretty much mid to we were a mediocre team pretty much all around. And I think when I think about what we're trying to do with this playthrough series and only accessing free agent quarterbacks, no drafting quarterbacks, no trading for quarterbacks. And I said it a couple of times in previous videos, like the ecosystem, and this goes for real life football as well. The ecosystem needs to be absolutely pristine around those quarterbacks. And I look at a couple of things. Our rushing offense, we were 13th. Especially considering that we have mobile quarterbacks, that's not nearly good enough. We need a top 5 rushing offense. And then looking at the defense as well, 19th in yards allowed, 23rd in sacks, and 10th in points allowed. So we got kind of lucky, a little bit bend but don't break last year. But that's just simply not good enough. We need a top 5 defense and a top 5 rushing game, I think, in order to prop this up. Last offseason, we did not have a ton of salary cap space. We were using a lot of it. We had a lot of draft picks, a lot of early draft picks, and re-signing some guys and things like that. But this season, right now, looking at our cap situation, we have about 45 million cap space with 43 on the roster. And we have a pretty normal draft here, just no second rounder, but 3 third rounders and no 6th. So we're gonna have some opportunity. Our draft's gonna be pretty normal, but we're gonna have some opportunities to address some needs in free agency. We do have to take a look and see. We're again gonna be without a quarterback, so we'll have a quarterback decision to make because Malik Willis and Trey Lance are both free agents. I mean, all of our quarterbacks are free agents. And then we have some upcoming contracts to figure out as well. If we take a look at our contracts that are ending in 2029, Armand Membu is due for an extension. James Lynch due for an extension. A couple of our older linebackers, Kyrus Tonga, a couple of receivers, Arian Smith, Irvin Charles, Bobby Brown. So both of our nose tackles. And nose tackles a particular need as well. There's just we're gonna have a lot of space opening up potentially. So we're gonna really take a hard look at the roster, because what's happening right now is just it's not good enough. We need top 5 defense. We need top 5 run game, and we're not getting that. So let's get into some of the analysis real quick. Just taking a look at what Malik Willis was able to put on paper last year. We're going to have a quarterback decision to make. He had a 99.6 rating. Not bad. 6.4% sack rate, 22 touchdowns, 8 picks, almost 2,000 yards. He played 9 games, so he had some issues with durability as well, but ran the ball really well. Almost 6 yards a carry, 64% success rate. And looking at Trey Lance in the games that he replaced him, Trey Lance had an 83%, or sorry, an 83 passer rating. So a little bit, slightly worse, a little bit lower sack rate, 13 and 8 touchdowns and interceptions, so a little more turnover prone, but around 2,000 yards as well. And through 60% completion, Malik was about 65. So we look at Lance's rushing ability, almost 6 yards a carry and about a 52% success rate. So down to down, not as clean as Malik Willis was. So Malik Willis definitely had a much nicer year all around, I'd say. The running backs, 3.5 yards a carry for Hardy Frazier, 47% success rate. Freddie Michalski, who we drafted in the 3rd round, he had a 49% success rate and 3.6 yards a carry. And then Phil Maffa, who was an undrafted free agent, 3.5 yards a carry, 54% success rate. Shannon Mata had 102 carries last year. He went 3.2 yards per carry for 40% success rate. He was a 7th rounder a couple years ago for us. So all around, just not really getting the rushing numbers that we should be. We have a bunch of mid running backs. We really do need a difference maker at running back to add some juice into the run game, because our offensive line is there, man. It's there. This is definitely a good enough offensive line. And the receivers add some threats on the outside as well. Garrett Wilson, another stud year, 82 for 1,000 and 8 touchdowns. Arian Smith went 40 for 503, so he had a nice step up this year. Irvin Charles, 30 for 306. And then rookie Ted West went 51 for 704. He had a really nice year. And he was our 1st round pick. Not our first pick in the 2027 draft. That was our outside linebacker Rico McKinney, who had 4 sacks, had an injury-ridden season, only played 11 games. But there's definitely, he had some hurries and got to the QB. Pass rush percentage, tackle percentage play. Okay, cool. Yeah, so he was rushing the quarterback. I think if we can get a full season on him, I think we'd see some good things. Jabari Marquise, another 6.5 sacks here. A little bit of a tick down from last year. James Lynch had 6. So yeah, I think with the defense specifically, like, we really need a true nose in here, somebody who can just destroy things and stop the run, because our rushing yards allowed, we're giving up 130 on the ground every game. So that's a big issue. Secondary was fine. I think where was our pass defense here? 17th. So we were okay. But yeah, I think a true nose is really what we're missing here. We had a lot of linebackers bouncing around here. I think with Mitchell Boggs and Rico McKinney, 2 rookies, for us last season, I think we can allow ourselves to get rid of some of the dead weight. Edmonds had a decent year. He had 6.5 sacks, but we were paying him like tens of millions. Let's take a look at the contract situation here, actually, real quick. So yeah, between Sherwood and Highsmith, we could save 8 to 10 mil on one of those, because we got Boggs playing in there, and we got Myalga as nice depth. McKinney, we are paying 10. He's a rookie. And then Schnall, we got at 3, so we can pretty much let Edmonds walk. Save ourselves tens of millions there. Yeah, there's definitely some opportunity for savings here. We got to figure out where exactly that might be. So let's get right into it. I'm just going to jump to the ticketing plan. I'm not going to do anything with the stadium. All right. One thing I'm interested in, we're obviously, I think, like, looking at year in review here. Where is this? So they've, like, the roster build that I've put together the last couple of years. Nothing crazy, but, you know, decent. 64, 58 took a slight step back. The performance has not been there. So when I see strong roster construction and poor team performance, I'm like, all right, well, our coaches are not, so something's happening with our coaches here. So I'm like looking through and I'm like, Kubiak looks great, a nice CEO, head coach, decent developer, pretty great scout. Tanner, it's a pretty smart play caller, really strong developer. Darren Rizzi we brought in last year, kind of a mid scout, but really smart play caller, really great developer. And then Al Gallagher here, pretty decent developer, pretty smart, and a pretty decent scout as well. So I'm not sure where the improvement could be within that coaching staff. So I'm just thinking, I'm like, man, it's got to be like, I just really think we got to find a way. We got to find a way to bump up the running game and go all in on this defense and just create like an absolute terror on defense. So I got to give those guys one last chance to prove that this is a working formula. So head coach, Josh McDaniels is out there. I think the one thing too is like we've gotten some pretty good play out of Malik Willis and Justin Fields too. So I know, like, I think the spread works for these guys. It's just a matter of keeping them healthy. And I think we just need a better run game to help aid them a little bit. So yeah, I think, like, as far as the staff goes, I'll take a look at offensive coordinator. Just take a look. And Jermaine McElmurray's still sitting out here. He's a really good scout, really smart play caller. The development isn't really there. And he's a running back specialist. That's one where I'm like, could that be a shift that we make? Because number one, the scout grade, and then the play calling, like the scout shift from Engstrand would be 40 to 80. And obviously, Engstrand is a much better developer. So that's where we lose a little bit of it with development. I'm thinking about it. I'm just like, if we're going for this thing, I feel like, I don't know, we don't really have anyone that's like in need of development on this side of the ball right now. And that's not to say that we won't. Well, Marquez Bennett down here. Yes, we have a couple tackles that are still looking to reach ceilings. And then, you know, that helps, like, older guys age a bit more gracefully and everything too, so I want to be cognizant of that. But I wonder if we go from a 40 to an 80 with scouting in the same system, will some of these guys look different? Like, will we have a better read, a more accurate scout read on some of our guys and realize that there maybe are some other holes in this offense that we were missing all along? And then number two, having a running back focus, we'll be able to get more out of the run game. We still have Kubiak to lean on. Oh, it looks like, our defensive coordinator Rizzi left. Yeah, Rizzy left. Where did he go? Hold on a second. This is an active investigation. Oh, he took a head coaching job in Chicago. We got poached. We got poached. You know what? I had a feeling that might happen because he was a really good defensive coordinator. So now we've got a new defensive coordinator to add to the staff as well. So we are going to be switching things up a little bit. Okay. I think I've talked myself. Yeah, the development being 100 though for Engstrand is really it's a nice kicker. So we're going from 60 to 40 here. 90, 70, 80. So McElmurray, a little bit less discipline as well, but yeah, so we're exchanging player development for scouting. That's really the shift here, and quarterback focus to running back focus. We're really going to have to invest in the run game if this is the move that we're making. Yeah, I think for this particular stage of our build that we're in right now, I think the scouting score is really what we need. It's going to be able to allow us to draft a bit more confidently on the offensive side of the ball. And then also just to get a read on our guys and see if what we got in the building is actually legit. I'm going to give this a go. We're going to shake things up a little bit. Jermaine McElmurray, because you know what? We weren't getting the performance that we needed out of this unit. It's a decent roster build. Admittedly, there's still some things that need to come along, but we're getting very low performance scores for a reason. So I think it's time for a little shakeup. We've had Tanner for the first couple of seasons, and now we need to go find ourselves a new defensive coordinator. All right, so we're looking for, we run a true 3-4 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, true 3-4. Okay. So we got Bryant Goza here. I'm also like open to switching to a 3-4 Eagle as well if that's like what needs to happen. Tomlin doesn't look too bad here. Mike Tomlin. It's a secondary coach. The play calling is pretty good, intelligent. Yeah. Let's get this sorted by our 3-4 guys here. So we got Tomlin. Tomlin's the top of the 3-4 Eagle group, and then true 3-4 down here. We got Goza. We've got Christian Madeir. The other thing I want to think about too here, Al Gallagher just isn't a good enough play caller. That's his limitation. Okay. So that is no longer a consideration for me. Tomlin, a little 3-4 Eagle. I like his scouting grade. Got a 70 scouting. Smart. Interviews are good. Play calling. Development's okay. Could be better. Christian Madeir. I actually like him. He's pretty all around. He's 44 years old. 60 play calling's not anything crazy, but the intelligence to match should boost that a little bit. Very disciplined, motivator, and pretty good development scores. The scouting is okay. We got a 50 on the scouting, which is what Rizzy had. This will be a step back. The other thing is we want to kind of, I'm not sure I'm like totally bought in on Al Gallagher here. He's a pretty good scout. So that helps. The development's okay. I feel like he could be better there. Okay. I do think there might be some guys that we could bring in as a new yeah, I think if we go Christian Madeir, I think we could bring in some guys to help out with the other aspects. Yeah, I think Madeir is the best choice here. Yeah, intelligence and play calling, the development, everything is pretty solid. Taking a little step back, but everything's pretty solid. Let's take Christian Madeir. I do want to take a look. Al Gallagher, really smart. But I'm not sure, like, intelligence is obviously good for any coach, but I'm like, I really want to focus on the development and the scouting, and he's good there. Could it be better? We also did that intelligence thing, I think, for Leslie Cochrane initially, because he was younger and had like a really low intelligence score. So I kind of want to I now kind of want to work off what we've got with Madeir, who Could use a little, like, I think a little bit of just some extra juice in the scouting and development department here for defense. So if we were to look at that specifically, St. Charles, really good scout, 2-3-4, okay. And we could also go offense with this assistant coach too. Doesn't have to be defense. But I feel like we could use the help there. Looking at spreads specifically, we have a tight end focus, Tanner Miller. We do Zane Charles. It's really just to bring the scouting. Player development is not a strength for him. Could bring Mike Tomlin in as an assistant. Yeah, it's tough. Ultimately, I think Al is probably still the best assistant coach available for us. I don't really see anything that's like knocking my socks off as far as like the combination of development and scouting, and the intelligence is a nice thing to have too. I think I'd rather just stick on with Al here. Helps create a little bit of continuity as well, because we do have 2 new coordinators. Okay. All right, here is the draft class. Mock's not available quite yet. We are picking 12th. It's pretty nice. All right, so thinking about like, there are a few really good running backs up here. I feel like 12 is a really good spot to take a running back if we really like one. Especially because it is such a like glaring need on our end. I'm not sure what's going to be there. We'll try to set ourselves up well in free agency and everything, but I could see running back being a choice for us at 12. Not seeing any nose tackles necessarily. There's one all the way down here, but for a later part of the draft. But yeah, I could see us taking one of these running backs for sure. Thomas Sutterfield is pretty explosive. Yeah, so we'll definitely give that a look once we get toward the draft. Let's focus on what we got going on here. Okay. Tremaine Edmonds, 38 mil. Dawson Knox at 21 mil. I don't see anybody that I really want to franchise tag. Nobody that's good enough. So let's move away from that and get right into free agency. All right, Malik Willis. Oh, he only wants 5, 6, 7 mil a year. Same thing with Trey Lance. We could just run back this same quarterback receiver, or this quarterback room. And Malik Willis is a mentor. Oh, I would definitely run back Malik Willis. Let's do that. Little bit of familiarity. Trey Lance. He was good, not great. Do we want to bring him back for 5 mil? I'm not sure. I'd throw Riley Leonard in there. Just, there's no bonus attached. Paul Thode. He's going to want a little bonus. Let me just hang on for a second there. Frazier had a major ACL tear. So he's out for another 31 weeks. He's not going to even play next year. It's a very serious injury. And we have him on for 3 million, so we cannot even injury settlement of 3 million. So we can't do that. I think we just got to throw him on IR and just eat the 3 mil, unfortunately. That really sucks. We're kind of handcuffed there. Got 2 running backs here, Shannon and Milkowski. And you could see actually some of the ratings are a little different on these guys with the new coordinator in here. So Lance bumped up a little bit. Mata dropped. Phil Maffa dropped. Dawson Knox is a free agent. He wants about 3 mil. He still had 505 touchdowns. And he only wants to stick around for about 3 mil. He's 31. I wouldn't mind keeping him around just as like a, even if he ends up like, maybe we invest in tight end in free agency because we're going to have some money. But yeah, even if we just have him be like our second tight end in a way, that'd be fine. And he could mentor Fortner, who we drafted in the 7th round. Who's not looking as strong either. Kate Otten, we could say goodbye to. Garrett Wilson, he's coming up on his contract. We could free up about 10 million this season by extending him. He's what, 20? He's 27. So this will be his age 28 season. This is age 29. So 28, 29, 30. This will, we extend him one season and have him until he's 30, and then yeah, drop about 10 mil in space for us to do some extra stuff. That could be a trigger that we pull once we see what's available in free agency, and what some of our re-signs look like here, because it looks like we're gonna have a couple of them. Arian Smith, both Arian Smith and Irvin Charles are coming up on re-signs here, but Irvin Charles is 30. Arian Smith is 26. That makes it a little bit easier of a decision. Definitely got a lot of money to think about there for Arian Smith. We do have Ted West sitting here, and Irvin Charles would be looking for just a 1-year extension, another 5 mil. Okay. Especially in a spread, it's good to have all these receivers, but Arian Smith, 8, 11, 12, 13 mil. I feel like that's not too bad. He's not an explosive player, but just really dependable, route running, catching traffic, strong hands. Okay. Something to think about if we want to extend him long term. And the offensive line, like Tipman looks really good. Mambu, Marquez Bennett. Okay, everybody, there's not really like too many differences with our offense, at least none that I'm seeing thus far. Just Tipman looks better. A couple guys look slightly worse, like the running back room and stuff like that, but everything looks about what I expected here. So we had a pretty good scout on everyone. Gus Hartwig, he's not much to bring back. We could do that. Still some potential there out of Hartwig that we could potentially bring out. Membu has a, yeah, we want to make sure we lock him up. I feel like this is pretty good for an all, oh, excuse me, for a really strong right tackle. Yeah, like he's an absolute stud, 81 overall. He's 23 years old too. So super young. Yeah, I think this is a no-brainer early re-sign, so let's do that. So that will obviously, yeah, that's just like way too cheap of a deal for a tackle. Like normally I'd think about doing the 5th year extension with him this year, but that was, I just had to hit the easy button on that. That was I was expecting in the 20s for sure. So we got a nice discount there. Let's see. Blue Fashanu will probably let walk. And both of our other tackles are good into 2030. Not going to resign our punter here. I feel like we can get something a little bit cheaper and better. All right, now we're looking at James Lynch, who is 29 years old. This will be his age 29 season. He'll let us resign for just a 1-year extension at 15 mil. I don't know. I haven't seen anything like crazy from him. I think he's a good player, it seems like. So overall, it's pretty strong. It's pretty well-rounded. But I don't necessarily want to just jump in and re-sign him right now. I just don't think it's necessary. Tonga's going to want 10 mil. Bobby Brown's going to want just 3. And we could actually knock a mil off by extending Bobby Brown. It's 27. So I don't want to extend either of them. We have some decisions to make at linebacker. Myoga is going to cost a couple mil. Highsmith's going to cost 5 or 6. 7 or 9 for Sherwood. Highsmith's 30. So Boggs had 61 tackles. Sherwood had 88 last year. Led our team. I feel like either of these guys, Highsmith or Sherwood. I feel comfortable with either of them, but I don't want both of them. Sherwood's unhappy, probably because he wasn't playing much last year. We can get him down to 9 and then have him on for next year at 7 mil. Highsmith, we could free up 7.8, but it's also a matter of like what can we get for them in return if we were to trade one. Highsmith, no one's interested. Sherwood, no one's interested anyway either. So yeah, I think we if we extend Sherwood, we free up 4 mil and then free up another 8 by getting rid of Highsmith. So let's do that. And Sherwood's a captain for the last couple of years, a fan favorite. That stuff's important too. Oh no. Client's unwilling to sign right now. That's okay. I don't think that's a huge deal. I think once he's going to start this year, so once he starts playing again, we can flip that around pretty easy. Okay. But the only thing is we aren't able to save that 4 million by extending him. But yeah, I guess, whatever. You can't win them all. Myoga, I think that's a pretty cheap deal for a guy who's like good depth, borderline starter. He's just not a special teamer is the only thing. We'll think on that. Tremaine Edmonds, he's gonna cost 10 mil. We gotta let him walk. It's 6.5 sacks. He had a pretty good year despite being rated 49, but I still just think I'd rather hang on to Leo Chenal here, who we have on a pretty cheap deal. We obviously have McKinney, so it's not really his services aren't really needed. At corner, we're pretty much good with these guys until 2030. Azair Thomas, he's 23 and looking for an extension. I'm not really like crazy about this skill set though. He's just a physical defender. He's smart and he wants like 3 or 4 mil. 1.7 he's due this year. So it's fine. Like we'll keep him on for a minute. Peyton Erickson we drafted in the 7th round and he's a really good special teamer. Not a rookie deal for quite a while. Kobe Bryant's 28. We have him on. Well, actually, he's about to be 29. So we have him on through his age 30 season. Something to think about. So we probably don't want to restructure anything here or give him any more bonus. We probably want to allow ourselves to free up 13 mil next year. And then Will Burnett, we have through 2030 on his rookie deal. Malachi Moore, backup safety, he's going to want a couple more, but I don't think we need to jump at that. So I think this is pretty much where we're at. Like we have still have about 40 mil in cap space, so we'll be able to get a little aggressive and maybe try and look for probably a running back or a game breaker at tight end or something like that. Maybe a second quarterback unless we want to bring Trey Lance back. And then a nose tackle. A nose tackle would be the other thing that I'd be looking for. So nose tackle, tight end, running back. Those are the big free agent spots that we'll be looking at. Yeah. All right. Whoa. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. Let's move forward and see who's available in free agency here. I think I want to start. I want to look at running back first. So Saquon's out here. Bucky Irving. Okay. I was looking to trade for Bucky Irving at one point. Seems like Tampa Bay just wanted to go get a comp pick for him. That's fine. He's only 25. And get him, and he only wants a few mil. Any injury stuff going on here? He had a sprained ankle in November, but yeah, Bucky Irving is definitely someone I would be like, let's just get a solid guy in there. Like that would be, he'd easily be our best running back. We can still draft a running back, but let's just get a guy in there. A guy that we can give some carries to, change of pace, whatever. Good in blitz pickup. Let's just get a guy. Another guy. Any guy. We don't have a guy right now. So just a guy. That'd be great. And then, you know, ETN's approaching 30. So is Dobbins. Beatty's 28 years old. Jeffrey Benson. Okay, he's just like a smart runner. He had 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns last year. 4.2 yards a carry, but he's a late free agent. Okay, and then we have McCord from the Chiefs. Another smart runner. He's pretty fast. Can do a little bit of everything. He had 1,306 touchdowns last year. Holy moly. Yeah, he averaged over 5 yards a carry. He's also a late free agent. Okay. So yeah, I think we'll throw a contract out there to Bucky Irving and see if he bites at that. If not, we'll look to draft a running back and maybe check back in late free agency to see if we can add like a second flavor, just a little bit more juice to the room. Tight end was one I wanted to see. Whoa, Sam Laporte is available. That'd be a pretty cool ad. He's 27. He's going to want some tens of million for the next few years, and I'd pretty much align with what we got Malik Willis for here. He's like 5 or 6 mils. It's not like we're spending crazy on quarterback anyway. You know, the one thing we should check real quick before I dive in on that is quarterback. CJ Stroud out here. It's nobody that's necessarily. Brandon Allen had a really strong year. I'm not sure he'd be a fit for the offense though. He's a little slow. Who did he play for? Indy? Oh, it was 4 games. Okay. Trey Lance, obviously. Nick Mullins. Okay. I'd look to bring back Trey Lance if he was still hanging around. We'll let his money drop a little bit possibly, or like check him out in late free agency. But yeah, I could definitely see myself going for one of Laporta or Kraft here. Both can block, both can receive, and both are mid to late 20s. That would be like a big time plus to our offense. And then the other one was, let's check out defensive tackle, see if there's any nose tackles available. Oh yeah, Kobe Turner, 28 years old, had 7 sacks last year. You'd be looking for some big bucks, but that could be a big plug for us. He's 290, a little bit lighter, but leverage is there. Really strong. All second team D tackle. Dio Dengbo, another nose tackle. He's a lot lighter, 276. Okay. He'd be looking for big bucks. I'm not sure I really see that one. And then we kind of just get into whatever. I'd throw a contract out for Kobe Turner. I think this is the type of guy that you just got to go for it. And then I will also go tight end here to try and grab one of Laporta or Tucker Kraft. And that pretty much addresses our needs. So let's take a look and see how this plays out. Kobe Turner went to New Orleans. Okay. All right, let's check and see. Well, let's head back to defensive tackle and see what's cooking out here. I mean, because right now we still have Tonga and Bobby Brown. And Tonga can't really defend the run. Bobby can. But he's furious, even though he's down to re-sign for a couple mil. No, the nose tackle's pretty dried up. It's unfortunate. We did try to go for Kobe Turner there, but it did not work out. Let's see if we can get Bucky Irving or one of these big tight end signs here. Oh, so we got Sam Laporta. Nice. That's a big ad. That's going to allow us to unlock some things for sure. And Bucky Irving went right back to Tampa Bay. Okay. All right, so we did come out of free agency with Laporta. That puts us around 26 mil in space. So now the question is, do we trade for a nose tackle? What do they need 2 nose tackles for, New Orleans? New Orleans got Person and Turner, both nose tackles? That's crazy. This guy's 22 years old. It's a beast. Okay. Hey, Kobe Turner. Benito Jones with the Vikings. Really strong run defender, 316. All right. Let me just see. Let me just see what he'd cost. It's not the guy I was looking at. Pretty cheap to acquire contract wise, 3 mil. Yeah, about $3. Clean bill of health for the most part. Just a really strong run defender. Yeah, it's just gonna cost us a second rounder in 2030. I'm just not sure that I can quantify going for it right now and giving up a second rounder for a nose tackle that's 27 years old. I just don't know, like, we're just not there as a team yet. We just went 7-9. I can't really give up draft capital like that, which you know, it's unfortunate, but all right, so we have 47 players under contract right now. I think what I'd like to do is probably just see if I can bring back Trey Lance as well. I don't think anyone's going to go after him. He wants to sign by April 15th. I'm just going to wait it out. Will cost us about 3 mil. Cool. All right. So there we go. We have 48 players. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 draft picks, which puts us at 55 players. We'll have to make a couple cuts. We have 23 mil in space. Gives us a little bit of wiggle room in case we want to trade for somebody mid-season or something like that. Really take things over the top, or re-sign some players early, whatever we got to do there. But I think that leaves us in a pretty decent spot to head and do 5th-year extension day. Nobody to extend, so first round, getting ready for the draft now. I still think running back is my preferred move here. Yeah, I think running back's probably the move. I'd like Sutterfield. I think he not a 3-down back, they say. He's 190. He's a little slim, but I mean, difference maker. And I think we'd probably look into free agency to add like a little bit of a banger back if we bring him in. Just, we need some juice, man. We need some juice. They got us looking at quarterback. Little do they know. Jesus Hellman is who they also have mocked us for. Let's Jesus Hellman is 262 and more of a weak linebacker in a 3-4. Okay. But he's got this. Yeah, I don't know what to do with a player like this. Should he be playing D tackle? Should he be playing edge? It's got some pretty nice well, 707, it looks good, but for 262, that's not good. This is good for 300. It's fine for 300. Like, look, we got 298 up here, moving smooth, bro, and much stronger. Yeah, this guy's where it's at. Jared Jameric. So yeah, I'm not crazy about the mock for us, but let's see. Sutterfield looks like got somebody. The Eagles taking him here at 9. Yeah, it looks like they got Raiders and Eagles taking running backs before us. Bears look like they're gonna take one up here. And we'll probably take the 4th one, I guess. Whoever that ends up being. It looks like Sutterfield's kind of all over the place in the back half of the first round. I don't know. I see it like, yeah, he's definitely a little bit smaller. Josh Sell is pretty interesting too. Of all these 7+ graded running backs, Sutterfield's actually got one of the slower 3-cone times, and he's a lot lighter. It's just that 10-yard dash that's interesting. Andrew Bustos kind of low key. The 4.56, they might sleep on him, but he's 203. Like, he's got some decent weight on him, and he's got that 10-yard dash score. That's nice. Quentin Higginbottom, 238 with the 6.48 3-cone. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I could realistically talk myself into any one of these guys, I think. I'd take any five of these running backs at pick 12, I think is going to be the move. Okay, it's draft time here. First round. We've got the 12th pick here. Let's just review where we're picking. We've got 3 third rounders. Really load up on some day 2 guys there. And then we have a 4, 5, 7, skip the 6th. So overall we're still at 7 picks. So I'll probably just draft it straight up. Real quick look at the roster. Okay, so like we can't draft a quarterback, but running back's definitely a consideration with the first round pick. We've already talked about that. You know, we've got some expiring receiver deals coming up. These guys, like, you know, we obviously have Ted West and Garrett Wilson heading forward, but we're gonna need like another slot guy at some point, possibly, if we're deciding to move on from these two. And if we fail with that pick, we can maybe just re-sign and, you know, re-sign one of them and keep moving. We also have Lester Ajayi down here, who could be an option, possibly move to. He's definitely set up to be an X receiver, but so I mean, receiver's always a potential pick. We're pretty solid at line. We've got pretty strong depth across the board too, but if something's there, I'm never against taking an offensive lineman. And especially, yeah, like we're still pretty young. We're late 20s with all of our offensive linemen. Membu's 24 years old. So yeah, we got some flexibility there. James Lynch coming up on his expiring deal. Definitely need a nose tackle. So like D line pieces are definitely a consideration for those like third and later. Linebacker, we still got some expensive pieces out here, so happy to especially with Sherwood not being interested in re-signing, we could trade him off or cut him or whatever. Save a bunch of money. Or just like let him start this year and then run it out. Get a comp pick. Possibly trade off Myoga or something like that. We need some backup outside depth too, badly. So third non, definitely consideration. And then corner, Taylor Britt's getting up there. We're pretty solid here. Kobe Bryant's getting up there, but definitely like if we wanted to draft some secondary guys too. So anywhere across the defense, I think with those third and later, I think we're really hunting a running back with this first pick though, and we need to nail it. So let's get to it. All right. So we've got 3 right up at the top here, and then Leggett down here as well. I think let's take a quick look at Leggett and just make sure. He's got a real nice 3 cone. His scores are decent. Good character. All right, so this is like an okay fallback option if we don't really like any of these, but it looks like our guy Sutterfield, not the third down, he's not a third down back. Pretty strong personality and really crushed the combine, except he's not putting up reps. He's 190. He's got a really high strength score though, despite that. I wonder about that. Some decent receiving skills. He looks like he could be just a really explosive player. Lightning in a bottle, and then we can grab, even if he's not a 3 down back, like this is a difference maker type running back. Bustos looks pretty good too. A little bit slower, like long speed, but a little bit stronger, a little bit more formidable. The strength score is more believable here. And he looks like a much better third down. Like he's like a straight 3 down guy. The receiving skills and the blocking skills seem to be better off. Sutterfield, it's worth noting that his endurance is really low. So he's not going to be, obviously, he's not a third down back because of the size, but also endurance-wise, you can't really tote a bunch of carries on him. He is a special teamer, though, and a return guy. Bustos is a return guy, but he's more of like a banger, but he's got the same explosiveness here. He's pretty negligible difference to Sutterfield. But I really do want to take Sutterfield, but like Bustos looks like a little bit more of a safer pick in a way. And then Cell's got the long speed, but the short burst not really there. Although 3-cone, he's got the best 3-cone time. Most reps. Looks like a pretty good guy. And he's looking pretty strong as well. High endurance. He's at 223, so a little bit heavier set. It's just the 10-yard explosiveness, that first step, that's really the only part missing for me. So the elusiveness, it's maybe where that gets knocked. Man, this is about as close of a choice as it's gonna get. Looking at the health profiles as well, it looks like Sutterfield's got some feet stuff going on. Back issues for Bustos. And then elbows and ankles for Josh Sell. Yeah, I really think Bustos is kind of like a meet in the middle pick here. He's kind of just like, he's got everything. A true 3-down back. He's got the 10-yard explosiveness of Sutterfield. The slowest, he doesn't have the breakaway speed, but like as far as a guy that we're gonna be relying upon. Obviously, like some of the shuttle and 3-cone, he lags just a slight bit behind Sutterfield and Cell. Kind of meets in the middle with reps and with the Soul Sismic as well. I was just talking myself into Bustos, but I think I'm just gonna stay with Thomas Sutterfield here. Just I can't get away from the combine scores. He's a strong leader. It's not all about combine stuff, but I think the combine and the traits, it makes a lot of sense to me about Sutterfield. It's the one I believe the most in. I could be totally wrong here. I could be ditching a true 3-down back in either Bustos or Cell. The medical concerns me a little bit for Cell, just having a couple body parts in there that he's at risk with. And the feet are a problem for Sutterfield, but I just think the leadership qualities, the combine, and the traits, it all makes sense to me that he's just gonna be, he can be a complete difference maker in multiple phases. He may not be a 3-down back, but he can be a return guy. And contribute on special teams in other ways. I think I'm gonna do it. I had my eye on Sutterfield early, and I think I'm gonna make it happen. All right, I'm curious. 63 to a 69. Nice, man. Nice. Definitely the low endurance there, but yeah, just this right here. That's major. He could be a 3-down back, but just the endurance. He's not going to be able to be out there too often. He's 20 years old too. Bustos, I'm cheating on a little bit. All right, Bustos just as strong. Like he kind of is what we thought he was. An all-around guy. And then Cell. Yeah, 67 to a 72. These guys were all roughly where I thought they'd be. They were what we scouted them as, and I think anyone's pretty good to take any one of them. So I'm glad we kind of stuck to our gut there and went with Sutterfield, but would have been happy with either 3. Okay. We're waiting a long time here now. Back to the 3rd round. Can't take any quarterbacks. Some 4-3 DNs here. Strong linebacker here. Some corner stuff available here. Tackles. Strong linebacker looks pretty good. Pretty all around, pretty good at everything. Athletically, first step is okay, but pretty smart, pretty quick. Like I'd definitely consider Pete Cagle. Don't want to overlook the nose tackle here. Looks pretty strong as well. End up being really good. Both of these guys I'd be pretty interested in. Very weak personality, but high leadership. Strong personality, low leadership. Okay. Another one down here. Pass rush strength is really high but couldn't put up the reps. I'm not sure I buy that. I think I'm gonna throw a dart on this nose tackle here just because I like what I see. Looks like he's gonna be like a pretty decent player, and we have some expiring contracts and things coming up there. We really need like a true nose. Hopefully Brookins can be it. Perfect. So Pete Cagle's still sitting here at 19, and I'm gonna just play it easy and grab him. Now back up at 34. This is likely the comp pick that we got for Justin Fields, which is cool. So let's see what we can turn that into. We have another couple of nose tackles sitting here too. This one we looked at, we weren't about. Carter. The pass rush strength not really there. Sort of a lack of quickness. Okay. Decent little corner here, and Jacob Burbridge. Some tackles here, some technicians. Do kind of want to go with another nose tackle here. Carter Wadera, strong run defender and pass rush technique. The strength is not there. However, he put up 31 reps. That's not bad. He's 335. I don't know. I could talk myself into something here where I'm like, and we really do need nose tackle bad. Like, do we? I don't know. Roderick Guilford here is the other one I'm considering. Like the scouted scores come out great. His combine stuff was really putrid. He's a smart player, but just the quickness and speed overall just not really there. But do we trust what we saw on tape kind of thing? That's one where I could talk myself into that as well. Let's do it. Let's go with Broderick Guilford here and see what we got. Probably going to be a hard ceiling cap on that, but all right, we're next up here at 412. Our nose tackle's still sitting here. I'm going to go ahead and take him, make it an easy pick. All right, now 512 here. There's another nose tackle sitting here. Oh, this is still the one with the high pass rush strength and the low reps. I'm not really buying it. I wouldn't be opposed to taking another running back. A lot of them are floating up to the top here, so I might just wait another couple rounds or something. A 3-4 D end here. These guys are just on the edge of a 7 3-cone time. Not seeing the strength though. I don't know. Yeah, not sure I'm about that. I'm liking this corner as well. Tevin Culbertson. This is not bad. Stuff's kind of all over the place, but he's really smart. And the athletic scores are decent. He runs a 4.5, just under 155, 10-yard split, and then under a 7 for the 3-cone. It's okay. There's a couple of big stuffers right here. 360 and 374 is Damian Morris. A running back down here too, who's rocking a 154, 10-yard split. You don't really... There's one up here too. I'm gonna mark these guys because you don't really see anything under a 155 at this point for running back. And the other one here is Roderick Hickman, which is a pure run defender. A lot of 3-4 DNs that are down here. We might wait a couple rounds for that. I think for this specific pick, I think I like Tevin Culbertson here. He's 205. He could maybe flex to safety too. So just a solid all-around player. Not really the best personality. Just to add a little bit more depth on defense, we'll take Culbertson. All right, final picks. So there's a ton of running backs that floated to the top here, and we marked a couple of them already that were around the 154 range. So we can just have our choice and see. I feel like Claybrooks is a little bit more of an all-around runner here, but I don't see the strength. He only put up 13 reps. But his strength is max. That kind of scares me a little. Couldn't get under 7 on the 3-cone time. Neither could Dexter, though. For more well-rounded scores, I think we're looking up at the top here at these two. Toby and Amir. Amir looks like a little bit more of the down-to-down banger that we're trying to match up our new first-round pick with. He's 196. He's not really a speed guy to begin with. We might be able to hike up his weight a little bit. He's not a 3-down back, so we got a couple of not 3-down backs apparently. But pretty good strength. Full recognition. I think that all aligns with his profile, and the elusiveness is there. I think that also aligns given like his 10-yard split, and the 3-cone and shuttle times are pretty good. I'll rock with Amir. Take our second running back of the draft here. All right, so 2028, here we go. All right, this turned out pretty good actually. So we got Thomas Sutterfield here. It's our first rounder. We hit our 3 third-round picks pretty hard. I actually like this little. So we've got our nose tackle, Muhammad Brookins. He's not for right now. We're gonna need to hold on to our nose tackles for now. But I mean, he could definitely grow into what we have right now and be a little bit cheaper of an option. Pete Cagle could actually grow into a starter at week. And he's already like solid depth right now at weak side linebacker. A nice little corner in Broderick Guilford, sorry. And he's like decent depth now, could grow into like a solid starter. So just kind of churn and burn there at corner. Tevin Culbertson, I think like, you know, he can grow into a depth piece at corner. Maybe we move him to safety because he's 205. Might have an easier time growing into that role. Carter Waderdra, another nose tackle, could grow into like a decent depth nose tackle. We'll have to figure out how we fit all these nose tackles on the roster. Maybe one of them goes. Maybe we rely on Brookins to be like a rotational guy this year and say goodbye to Tonga or something. I don't know. And then Amir Harlow with our final pick. And he kind of looks like that strength and elusiveness. Like he's kind of like that banger back that we kind of want to pair up with a Sutton Field. All right, cool. Let's jump into late free agency here. Okay, so here's what we're looking at post draft, late free agency period. We have 23 million cap space. And let's just kind of walk down the roster. Quarterback, we're pretty much walking in with what we had last year. Running back, we're pretty fresh here. We got obviously our 2 rookies, Sutterfield and Harlow, and then Michalski, who we drafted a couple years ago, 2027, and then Mata, who we drafted in the 7th round in 2026. Probably not. Frazier's going to be on IR all season, so, and then we'll probably let him walk. I guess I'm just like, we're a little, so we probably need to cut some weight here, and then I also wanted to add another, like a secondary running back to Sutterfield. That's a little bit better than what we got here. So I think, I wonder if anyone would buy into Mata. Okay, he's got some trade interest. Let's see what the Packers would do. Whoa. Go from a 3rd to a 2nd and pick up a 7th for a former 7th rounder who has not done anything for us. Here's a 6th and a 5th. Same sort of thing. 3rd for a 2nd and a 7th. 3rd for a 2nd and a 6th. All right, let's rock with that, Falcons. All right, so there goes Mata. We can just kind of work up some capital real quick here. All right, so now we are looking at this. So we got 3 running backs. We'll probably add someone in late free agency. Tight end, we're set. One thing we haven't done in the a little bit is add some undrafted free agents as well. So we'll probably sprinkle some in, like probably for offensive line. Getting a little bit older at guard, especially, would like to find some like quality. Maybe we can scrap Lindstrom and get some quality backups in there that are younger. But back to receiver real quick. So we know Irvin Charles is 31. Probably not re-signing him. Right now it's 5 mil. He's got negative chemistry with everyone anyway. Is there a trade market for Irvin Charles? I don't know that that's like, I kind of like having the depth, but yeah, all right. So there's no trade market anyway. I think we should probably look to re-sign Arian Smith, who's 26. He's going to be around 8. That's a 4-year, $40 million deal. It's not too bad. He's a pretty good player for us too. Knowing we're also going to have to pay Garrett Wilson next year. Offensive line, like I said, we're pretty much set. We could use a little bit. We could use like a couple undrafted free agents in here, just a couple projects. A little bit more depth. We need a punter. Offensive line, we're kind of walking in with the same thing, aside from the couple of nose tackles that we signed. We're going to walk in with 4 nose tackles and only one's on the field at a time for the most part. Gatonga is 31, mentor. Definitely good to have a mentor on with the 2 rookie nose tackles we have. Bobby Brown is 27 though. He's furious. Is there even going to be a market for Bobby Brown? I doubt it. Yeah. He's someone we'll hang on to for the moment, but maybe it turns into a cut. Let's just check personality also real quick. I just want to see. So Sherwood's unhappy. All right, we'll get to linebacker in a second. Okay. So Sherwood's in line to start because we're in a 3-4. We have a rookie in Pete Cagle down here. A weak outside linebacker. He could step in for Chenal, and that'll allow us to kind of free up that $3 million next year, possibly. So that's great depth to have. I like that pick a lot. Makes Trujillo a little bit less of a sting. It's not our first guy off. We are a little heavier at inside linebacker, so we got Boggs, Sherwood. Sherwood's going to play more. I think that's why he's unhappy, so he'll get some more playing time. He's a captain as well. Because I think we traded somebody and opened up some space for him. Myalga, good depth. Couple of rookies that we drafted last year. Mazer and Howell. All right, cool. I think we're okay at linebacker. Corner. Cam Taylor-Britt is 28. We did draft Guilford. Sorry, I keep wanting to mispronounce that. Drafted Peyton Erickson last year. Another rookie here in Tevin Culbertson. Isaiah Thomas is due up a contract. Let's see if we could flip that. He's gonna cost about 3 or 4 mil. Yeah, let's see if we could just get a couple of bones back for Isaiah Thomas. Oh yeah. All right, so kind of like somewhat of a 5th for a 4th and a 6th. 4th for a 4th and a 6th. Okay, so no. I'm not expecting to get much here, but there's a pick swap for a 4th. I say pick swap, it's in a different year, but whatever. Then Washington is the other one interested. 6 for a 5th and a 7th. Is that the same as Dallas's? 5th for a 4th and a 6th. Okay. Next year's 5th. To add a 4th and a 7th. For Washington's next year's 6th to add a 5th and a 7th. I guess just Dallas. We'll take Dallas's here. Grab another 4th rounder. That's fine. Okay. Yeah. And a 6th instead of a 7th. Yeah, that's good. All right, so just clearing up a little space and give a little breathing room here. Let Guilford step in. We also talked about Culbertson moving to safety as well. Do you think that's something we should try out right now? He's below about and about for free safety. I don't know. I think it would make sense to have him at free safety. Might get a little bit of a bump. A little bit better with zone coverage. Let's see. 28.46. Okay, it's 26.43. So a little bit of a step back, but I think it's a nice little project to have down there. And then we have Malachi Moore, who is in his contract year as well. So that'll give us a chance to replace that. Okay. And we could even, like, if we need more corners too, we can always go to undrafted free agents, but we have Pretty good wealth of guys here. Yeah, the thing with this roster right now, we're betting on the offense to take a huge step forward. 2 new coordinators, offense and defense. And then we didn't really add a ton to the defensive side. Like, there's not going to be a massive impact other than hopefully getting a healthy Rico McKinney for the entire season. I don't know. We're kind of just betting on like chemistry and maybe the new coordinator brings some extra juice. We're really betting on the offense to give us a step forward here because of Sutterfield and Sam Laporta. The Sam Laporta ad. Okay. All right, so we consolidated some things, made a little space. Let's see what's out there in free agency. First, I want to see, all right, Jeffrey Benson from the Lions is out here. Pretty good endurance. Took 268 carries last year. Okay. I wouldn't mind this is like a nice little second back. That'd be nice. The other one here is Terrence Portnoy, who can grow into something a little bit. 235. He's got some pretty good endurance as well. I'm looking at endurance specifically because our homeboy Sutterfield is not in good shape. So we want to make sure we kind of pad him with somebody who can. He's going to be more of the lightning, and we need more of a thunder. So this kind of thinking like Jahmyr Gibbs to finding our Montgomery in the best way. Okay. So there's running back. What was the other? Oh, we wanted to check and see also if anything was worth it at nose tackle possibly. Who do we have here? Nah. So nobody really like a 52. It's not really. We got nose tackles on the roster that are right there. Safeties, center, DN. Okay. I think for the rest of our funds, I would like to grab some undrafted free agents. You know what though? We need a punter. Real quick. Was it punter? Right now we just have our kicker Jeremy Clark signed. And Salvador Smith is he's gonna want like $1 million a year. Not bad. Is there something that's a little bit easier that we can get out there though? Do like an undrafted free agent punter here. Who's better right now, seemingly? I would do this. Same contract, just a better player, seemingly. There's a couple other punters out there too. All right, let's look at maybe check kicker real quick too, just to see. We'll ride out this last year with our kicker and go from there. All right, now let's look at undrafted free agents. This guy, pretty good running back. Let's look at future value here. All right, so mostly in the 40s with guys available. Nose tackle here, flanker here, Pierre Knock, Leonardo Hodgen. Okay, he can play some special teams too. I like this. Just sprinkle in some random positions here and just see what we could find. Let's see. That's a real project. 12 overall. This could be good. I'd like to see a guard. I don't see any guards right here. Also open to a tight end. At linebacker is good special teamer too. So weak personality though. Out there. Well, decent center ideas here. Let's check out guard. Bump it up to 3 years here and see if we can find somebody that might be a little bit more potential ethanol, like maybe this dog here, Louis Freeney. I'd be into that. Character cards there. Okay. Let's look at tackle again too. Overholt. Sure, I'd look into that. Gilliam's been on the team for a while. He can block. I'm fine with it. There's a couple things out here that could be interesting. I'll throw a little undrafted rookie fullback in the mix. Probably need a D end as well. Maybe De Silva, very weak personality, not interested. Peyton Windsor. I'd rather give this a try at least and just see if there's something there. Okay, let's see how that's looking after. Yeah, we got a lot of guys here. All right, so we got a guard, center, tackle, and tackle. Okay. So just shoring up some offensive line depth to start this thing out. Yep. Giving Gus a little competition because he's got 2 years left on his deal. But then we fill in some space behind, you know, get 4 on each position. That's good. All right, cool. All right, so Giants get this tackle. Chicago gets this receiver. We get D end center. Or sorry, we get this D end. Got a punter, another guard, and a tight end. Very good. Getting pretty much everyone we wanted here. Got this running back, Jeffrey Benson, nice. And fullback. And the top undrafted free agent, corner. And another, the running back and tight end still in play here, but Jeffrey Benson will be a nice number 2, hopefully. He's 26. Yeah, I think that's a great deal. And tight end goes to Chicago. Okay. So we're looking at now 15 mil in space, 62 players. All right, so I'll have to make a couple cuts at the beginning. Well, actually only one because Frazier's going to be an IR right away. Let's see, what are we missing? Maybe a tight end. We are pretty loaded up elsewhere, I think. We got just about every flavor here. Oh, I thought we got that corner. Maybe we didn't get that corner. Maybe corner and tight end if we can. This guy's just straight up man defense. Trenton Vera. He's not going to play some zone. He's not going to tackle. Just stick him man to man. Devontae Twitty. Kind of, let's throw Trenton Vera one here. Tight end was the other one. Wilder. He's more of a receiver. Looks like a pretty good dude, though. I think he'd be a good guy to have on the roster. Just good personality. All right, cool. Vera and Wilder. Nice. So a couple other additions. It leaves us about 13 mil in space. I'm not really going to fill out the rest of it. I think that's 64 is a pretty good number to hit. We'll take that into training camp. And we'll have enough money to leave ourselves open for like a nose tackle trade or something like that if that's what it comes down to. If we get hot down the early portion of the season. So all right. We are now in weight training. So quarterbacks are good, running backs. Like Thomas could lose weight. I don't think we want to drop him anymore because he's 190. He plays pretty strong, all that. Yeah, we don't want to mess with that. Benson can add weight. I don't think we should do that. Amir Harlow, he can only drop weight and he's 196, so he's already pretty light. I don't think that's the move either. Yeah. Tight ends are looking fine. Dawson Knox could go either way. He's not really a speed guy. Getting older. I think we just leave Knox where he is. Fortner's stuck. Sean Wilder, more of a speed guy. He can only gain weight. So we'll leave him there. Receivers. Not dropping weight for either of those guys. And Charles, Ted West. I think we decided to kind of leave him where he was at last time too. Yeah, I don't really want to mess with that. He's doing just fine. Easton could lose weight. I don't think we should do that either. Lester could gain weight, but he's kind of a speed guy. Yeah, I think that's good there. We'll leave that. Looking at some of our younger offensive linemen here to see if there's anything worth touching. I don't think so. Could get Bennett up a little bit. Just have him bulk up. Get up to 311. Overholt coming in a little light too, but he can't gain weight. Okay. Defensive side of the ball here. Peyton Windsor, more of a 4-3 D end. We'd probably want him to gain weight. Unless we move him to outside linebacker. Be really tall for that. He probably ends up getting cut anyway. All right, all of our young nose tackles here, we got to figure out. Damian Morris is 374. Ooh. Brooks looks like he's got a different ideal weight. So Brookins, let's get him over to, yeah, let's get him to nose tackle. 3656 to 3656. All right, cool. He's pretty much spot on. Do we want Tonga to lose a little weight? He's pretty good with endurance and everything. I don't think it's a problem. How about Carter Wadera? He's not really a strength guy anyway. Could maybe lose a little bit of weight and just see if that puts him in a better spot speed-wise. All right, Rico, we moved to strong outside. He bumped up 1 overall. That's fine. Chenal is a 4-3 strong. Pete Cagle is also a strong. Fine, leaving him at weak though for now. Trujillo is a weak. I'm pretty good with everybody else here, I think. All right, I think I'm pretty good here with all of our ratings and all. I don't think there's much to really. It's mostly just a lot of like nitpicky stuff going from there. I think we're good. All right, so we're at the Minnesota exhibition here. We got to make some cuts. Sutterfield stepping forward. Let's just see where progress is at with everybody. Ted West stepping up. Let's go. He's going to get in there in that true 3. Put a comp here. Garcia. Looking for some of these nose tackles to step up. Okay. Nothing out of the ordinary. We got to make a couple cuts. First off, let's get Hardy Frazier on IL. All right, so we got to make 3 more cuts now. I don't think Sean Wilder is really... He's a good personality though. Let me see if there's someone else we can axe first here. Windsor's probably an easy one. He's more of a 4-3 fit. Personality and stuff, not really somebody worth keeping here. That's probably the easier cut. We're set at the end there. Damian Morris is going to be the easiest nose tackle to cut. Just because he's got no bonus attached. No cap control. We drafted these guys 3rd, 4th round this year, so we're not getting rid of them. Bobby Brown's a possible cut. Save like 4 mil. And just ride out with Brookins and Wadera. But it's not going to be one of the early ones here. All right, Howell, Mazer. All right, we got some backup linebackers stepping up. Love to see it. Deshaun Trujillo. Still got the cap control. He's a decent personality. It's fine. It's fine to have. Trenton Vera. I like him, but like realistically, we probably don't need him. Already got 6 corners that we like. And that's down to 60 now, so let's keep it moving. A little bump on Sutterfield's ceiling here. I love to see it. Yeah, Sutterfield's going to be a monster. Let's go, boy. All right. We need to make 7 more cuts here. So undrafted rookies got a nice little ceiling here though. Gus Hartwig seems to have taken a step back and they're about even. I don't know. We're taking 20K on the chin for Hartwig next year, but is it possible Hartwig's tradable? I doubt it. Oh, okay. We can get a little something for Hartwig here. And give up a 6 and get 2 7s. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Pick swap. Kansas City said nah, and they said nah. All right, I'll think on that for a second. Elijah's probably one that we good dude, but take 60K on the face. That's fine. Okay. The end. What's up with Ricardo here? 5-week injury or whatever. Okay, that's fine. Lester also. Strained hamstring. Okay. Rico sprained PCL. Oh boy. Starting without Rico again here, huh? Good thing we got Cagle. But yeah, that's no good. Rico seems to be a bit of a medical concern here. He's racked up some injuries here. Partial elbow tendon tear, strained hamstring, and then sprained PCL in his knee. He's gonna be 7 weeks. That might be one where I'm like, do we just throw him on IR to start the year? He's questionable already, so I don't know. Maybe we just keep him fresh and hope that he comes around quickly. Still need a bunch of cuts here, so I think we'll rock with 4 running backs for now. Sean Wilder's probably one that I like his intangibles, but probably gotta axe that. I think Hartwig's the one to get rid of here. Yeah, let's do it. A little bit younger at center here. Something's got to happen with a nose tackle here. I think Brookins is kind of stepping up. Bobby Brown's sort of stepping back anyway. So Bobby Brown, he's already furious. He's tired. Not really a great personality anyway. I think we just saved the 3 million on Bobby Brown. It's gotten us to this point, but Brookins should be fine. It's a backup. We're carrying 1 extra with Wadera as well. Hazer's really good special teamer. Howell. Smart guy, pretty good special teamer as well. Sherwood, still unhappy. Alga, he's good backup, but he's going to want a contract. We're not going to get a comp pick for him. Do we just try and see what we can get for him? Francisco Mayoga. Houston, 4th and a 5th. Yeah, I'll take a 4th and a 5th for Mayoga. That's fine. Pretty good deal for Houston, but we're not really... We've got some pretty good depth there at inside, and use a couple draft picks there. We're rocking with Sherwood this year. Okay. I guess the question is, Gibson's doubtful. Do we just throw Gibson on the IR to start the year and just Lester too? They're both 5 weeks. Yeah, let's just throw them both on IR. That'll make it a little bit easier. We don't have to do anything with McKinney quite yet. He's questionable. The other 2 guys are doubtful, so we just start with... There's our 53. Got 3 on IR right now. And then if it really comes down to it, we can get rid of Culbertson here or something like that. He was a 5th rounder though. I don't know if I really want to do that. Maybe Erickson, special teamer, but we could find someone to... Corner room's taking a little step back here, that's for sure. I was just looking at Malachi Moore like, oh, what if I move him to corner? Just step right in there and be our nickel or something? I don't know. Backup safety to starting nickel? I don't know. It's probably unnecessary for the moment. Okay. Trujillo, a little step up, all right. Yeah, I think this is where it's gonna have to start for now. All right. Gotta set our game day inactives here. Probably Amir. So we're already kind of got one extra running back here. We're already down a receiver, so we'll probably run with that 5. Lindstrom, Overholt. We're already down at the end. Probably go Wadera. So we probably need 2 active nose tackles is fine. McKinney, he's what? Questionable? He's probably not. We should just let him rest this game. He's probably not going to play. I think Guilford, just because he's not. Erickson's our special team ace, man. We got to have him out there. And then Culbertson, yeah, he's not really doing special teams for us too. So actually, yeah, let's just do Culbertson instead of Guilford. All right. Here we go. 31-13. Big dubs. Let's go. Malik Willis had 4 touchdowns. Benson, okay. The run game was clicking. James Lynch with 3 sacks. 3 interceptions. All right, that's the type of start that we want to see, boys. Let's go. All right, looks like all of my Arnold Gibson, Rico McKinney, everybody's clicking probable right now. Oh, I just simmed through our second game. All right, we won 34-23. Nice. But it looks like we got some guys coming back here. We can't activate Ajayi or Gibson quite yet, but we could throw McKinney as active and then maybe put Guilford out. So that was one that we were planning on having out previously. So let's do that. Oh, 38-7. Let's go. We're kind of nice right now. We're cooking. We're cooking. Average 34 to 40, a little 20-point differential right now on average. First in both total yards and yards allowed as well. So everything's working right now. Did McKinney play? He did. He was out there. He didn't do much. He's active. All right. Got our 4th win against the Giants, 44-19. So we're absolutely rolling right now. Okay. This is where things get serious. We've got Ajayi coming off IR and Gibson coming off IR. Let's probably be looking to make a cut or 2. I'd probably get Gibson active first. All right, so Gibson's active, and we'll probably end up cutting Lindstrom. It's a mentor. I'm looking at offensive line right now, but we've got some. We could probably live with getting rid of Erickson. He's a really good special teamer, but I just don't see the real value other than that. And he's a 7th rounder. Yeah, we'll cut Erickson. All right, and then the other one's Lester Ajayi. We bring him back. Where's the cut? It's probably Lindstrom. He's very likable. Make Guilford active because we need 5 corners active. I would like 5 corners active. We'll probably make McNamara inactive with Gibson back. Just keep Ajayi on IR. It's pretty good. I don't know. I feel like we could just activate Ajayi and cut Lindstrom. All right. Puts us at 53. Could probably throw Buvanov on inactive. We don't really need him out there. All right. Another W, 5-0. Got the win against Kansas City. Nobody hurt still. Probably just rock it out through New England. 38-15, 6-0. And I mean, we're really cooking right now. We're gonna keep rocking here unless Jabari Marquis. He's got a broken forearm. Let's throw him on IR. McNamara we can bring back into the fold. I'm gonna keep that open roster spot for the moment. Okay. First loss of the season against the Rams. We do have Ed Ingram is doubtful. Maybe that changes throughout the week. McKinney still listed as probable. He's not quite 100% yet. Sauer, questionable. Bruce sternum. All right. There's a couple of injuries here. All right, McKinney's finally off the injury report. Ingram's questionable, so he could probably play, but like we're now down to 2 guards. I'll probably use this other ad on a guard. And our boy Lindstrom's still sitting out here. I'd bring him back, but he's gonna ask for a 660K signing bonus, so probably not. Or 70K for Tyler Steen here. I'll probably bring the Steen guy in here. He might actually be a starter for the moment. Okay. And Sauer is probable now, so that's fine. Oh, too many active players. Oh, we need one more. One more inactive. Oh yeah, probably Trujillo. For sure. Okay. Ooh, another loss to Vegas by 1. Okay. Ooh, we are here at the trade deadline now. Team's looking pretty great. Where are we lacking? Sacked opponents were 8th. So could use a little bit more juice on the front line. Yards allowed, 8th. Passing yards allowed, 11th. So a little bit more help on defense, maybe. The offense is just churning right now. We got the #1 rushing offense. Malik Willis is playing great ball. 133 rating through 8 games. 80% completion, 25 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's balling right now. Over 6 yards a carry, 75% success. He's balling right now. Brother. Sutterfield, 77 carries. Okay, 5 yards a carry, 61%. Success rate, 11 catches for 95 and 2 touchdowns. Where's Benson at though? He's at 107. Yep, I knew we needed like a guy that's just gonna take carries. He's just gonna eat carries, and Benson's been there. 5 yards a carry, 60% success rate. Yeah, I knew we were gonna need something like that with Sutterfield. Just he's got 5 touchdowns. Explosive, but still needs a little something. Porta, 405. 506 for Wilson. 400 or 505 for Ted West. Okay. Yeah, so I think like it's going to be a defensive ad if anything. With Marquis out right now, we could definitely use a little bit of juice to get us through until he's healthy again. Let's see what we got here. It's corner is another one too that we could use an ad for. But I'd be interested to see first because like I think a nose tackle would set this thing over the top. Carter, a little too much, obviously. We can't. Well, what's our cap space right now? We have 25 mil. Baltimore's got this 30-year-old nose. He's a D tackle. He's a left tackle, but like he's 325, 6'5". That's nose tackle type stuff. Jordan Riley. Okay. Keeping tabs on that. Okay, and the Chargers are also Jay Davidson for the Chargers. They'd want a 4th and a 3rd for Davidson. Be a 31-year-old, 64 overall nose tackle. 2 years left on his deal. Be a 2030 3rd and one of our 4th round picks. Okay. I'd definitely be willing to do that. The other one was the Ravens, who have Riley here, 64, pretty much a similar player, 4th and a 3rd. Riley is listed at defensive left tackle. Still the nose tackle stuff there. Big run defender. I think our pass defense is a little bit worse. We're 8th in sacks. I'd probably look to throw on the Chargers here. Davidson. Yeah, I mean, we've got so many picks this upcoming draft, and we still have 2/4 in the next draft, so I'm okay giving up the third. It's an older player, but like we're trying to make some moves, man. We're trying to lean into what we got right now. I think this would be a huge missing piece for us right now. Huge puzzle piece. All right, bring in Davidson. Here he is. 62 overall. All right. And now, do we also maybe see what we can get for a corner right now? I know Detroit is bad, but that's a younger player, Mac Walton. He's probably going to cost a lot to get. What about Keyshawn Nixon here? Packers, pretty big contract too. Won't do it. Okay. Yeah, the biggest issue left with this defense right now is that Cam Taylor-Britt and Gilmore, both bottom 5th guys in base, and then in nickel. Cam Taylor-Britt is he's just not it anymore. The question is, do we trust DJ Davidson as an addition to be enough to cover up some of the blemishes of this corner group? Or can we find a trade? Probably be looking for an older player. Like, I'm not gonna be able to get to Gene, obviously, but like Sauce Gardner is 28. Do we trade back for Sauce Gardner? Oh, come on. Come on. That would have been such a sick storyline, though. Do we trade back for Michael Carter? Let's see what Denver's got. Not trading off any of their secondary guys, huh? One thing we could do is go and get Joey Porter right now. It's only going to cost us a 4th and a 5th. We get a 7th back. He's got a massive contract, though. So I feel good paying him this year for whatever that's worth. But I mean, it's not really, if we can easily, it's only a 5 mil bonus this year and next year. We could easily get out of that if we need to. And it's only going to cost us a 4th and a 5th. I would do it. I'll do it. Let's go all in. Let's push the chips in. Let's go get Joey Porter, 4th and a 5th, get a 7th back. All right, now we're riding out. Now we got to figure out. So we have 2 reserves right now. So we got to cut 2 players. Culbertson, Trujillo, a couple 5th rounders. We Overholt. We already have. We have Kirk at backup tackle right now. Trujillo is one of them. He can't play special teams. He's kind of just. He's got 2.5 sacks right now, though. Yeah, it's probably Trujillo. That's one of them. Shorted outside linebacker now, but oh, we also got to move a nose tackle though, because we went and got Davidson. I'm okay with Culbertson. That's a lot of dead cap. He's a 5th rounder. It's probably Overholt. Yeah. All right, now we're at 53, and we got to just rearrange our inactives here. Or Brookins, we probably sit. Unless we keep him active just to offset Marquis being out. Probably Ed Ingram, who's questionable. Oh, we head into the bye week though. Okay. Sauer and Ingram both probable. Okay. Should probably sit Gilmore and let Guilford play for his special teams abilities. Marquis back to questionable. Okay. Love to see it. All right. Big dub against Buffalo. Okay. Marquis back to probable. Activate him from IR. Now we need a cut. I think we're okay to cut Gilmore here, but it's tough. These guys are all on nice contracts. Looking long and hard at Culbertson here, and I'm just like, we just drafted him though. You know what? Now that Ed Ingram is back, it's probably this Steen guy that we just scooped off the street. Yep. We'll just rock back at a very slim offensive line. We need one more. We need somebody inactivated though. Marquis is back. Let's throw Brookins there real quick. All right. Close win over Denver, 14-6. Porter's coming up questionable here. All right. He's probable now. Put Luke back on inactives. We'll activate Chris Gilmore for this game just because Porter and Sauer are both probable. 30-17 over Miami. 9-2 right now. Porter's healthy. Lost to Tampa. Tough one. Tough one. Still no additional injuries here though. Win over Baltimore, 26-10. Now full suite of corners healthy again. We'll throw Gilmore back down and maybe put McNamara back in there just to get a little rotation going at D-line. Lost to New Orleans. Ooh, tough. Oh no, and Benson dislocated shoulder, 11 weeks. That's tough. That's tough. He's been an absolute workhorse for us. Dang, that's tough. Really liked that 1-2 punch. We're gonna need Michalski to step up. But dang, that's tough. That's tough. Yeah, so he's pretty much done. Benson's done for the year. Dang, man. He's so efficient. So efficient. All right, well, I'm gonna leave the roster spot open for a minute. 17-3 over New England. Okay. Oh. Malik Willis is questionable. Gibson and Marquis probable. Okay. Let's just let them. All right, back up to probable for everybody. All right. We can keep it moving. Lost to Carolina by 3. Oh, no. Some injuries popping up here. Josh Myers. Oh, he's got a. All right. Concussion. Are we going to have enough to. Do we need to sign another center? Everybody else looking okay. Are we, we're 11-5 right now. Sort of sliding down the stretch here. We have a chance at the top seed, but we are locked into playoffs. Could happen. But we need all 5 of these teams to lose, and then we'd need to win. I'd rather just at this point be healthy, I think, but I can't sit Willis unless we're picking up another quarterback, which we could, but okay. Let's just ride it out with active players. Oh, okay. Let's get Brookins suited up. What's wrong with Fortner? 45-10 over Buffalo. Okay. So wild card game against Vegas. Made the playoffs. Started out real hot. Mitchell Boggs is torn MCL though. Josh Myers still supposed to be out. Maybe see if we could sign a center off the street. Good with Howell to start there. Yeah, maybe looking at grabbing a center. Spot starting a center real quick. No, it's not. There's nobody. We might as well just go with what we got here. Okay. We're good though. He passed through concussion protocol. So Myers is active. Perfect. Boggs still out though. Okay. It looks like Willis is ready to go too. Okay. This is good. Oh, goodness gracious, man. This felt like the year up through here, and then we pushed the chips in and made a couple trades to see if we could spike it, and we lost to Justin Fields too. Just couldn't run the ball, man. Like 3 carries for Thomas Sutterfield. Just abandoned. Man. That's tough. It felt like we were really rolling like through this point, and then the wheels started to fall off. Man, if we just had Benson, I feel like if we just had Jeffrey Benson the rest of the year, he was really Sutterfield was great too. It really felt like things with Benson were because what were we getting with Michalski after that? Yeah, 3 yards per carry, 39% success rate. It was a complete downgrade. Although he had a couple good games down the street. He played all right. He played all right as like that. But man, That stinks. All right, guys. Well, that was our do or die season, and we did make the playoffs. And it's tough. I really it's tough when you make a couple of trades at the deadline that are like going in for it, and it's like things kind of flop. So now we're like, it's fine. Like Davidson, he's 31 though. We what did we trade for him? A couple of thirds or something. A third and a fourth. I can't remember what it was. And then we gave up like a fourth and a fifth for Joey Porter, who's still, we should be able to get a little. He's got no bonus too, so it's the Steelers paid for that on our behalf, so he'll be able to stick with us for a couple of years and maybe be all right as long as he doesn't hit like an age curve or anything. But all right, hey, what are we gonna do, man? I think the roster is definitely headed in the right direction. Like obviously Sutterfield and Benson, like getting the run game going was a huge help, probably on both sides of the ball. And yeah, we're right there. We're really right there. Just some more things to clean up in the off season. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one. Peace.